to GPH Podcast. GPH in the building. Day one is in the building with us today. I want to thank you guys. This is going to be the last episode before the New Year's. And I want to thank everyone that has been part of the journey so far, that has been giving me feedback, that have been encouraging me and encouraging everything that I'm doing. I'm very grateful. So first, we're going to do exactly what the podcast is titled, GPH. We're going to give glory, praise, and honor to God. And we're going to continue to grow productively while being humble. Today's topic, God's plan versus your plan. Let's talk about it. I like this topic. It's fresh, it's new. And we have J. Andy here with us. J. Andy, talk your talk, say something.
Thank you for having me, Manny. That is just God's plan versus your plan. Sometimes we think we know what's best, but the best way is God's way. Certain curveballs might come and it's going to allow you to redirect. You just got to take it and do what's best with whatever he throws your way.
I agree. God doesn't give us any battles. God doesn't give us anything. God doesn't allow us to go through any battles that we can't overcome, right? Because who is God to tempt anyone, We tempt ourselves. The enemy tempts us, our adversary, the one that's trying to deceive us. If you guys don't know who that is, it's Satan.
Or our flesh.
Yeah.
Flesh is the biggest topic.
I mean, our flesh.
It's our flesh because when you talk about Satan just uses what we want as a tactic to get us to lower in.
Yeah.
For example, when we want to, let's say on the personal level with a girl or on the business, just getting that quick money, the devil uses that to lower us into temptation where we get desire and then we blame the devil, but in reality, it was ourselves.
I mean, accountability is key, but I think he does put us through trials. He does tempt us.
He puts the cheese.
The story of Job is very big. He goes to God and he tells us, let me do this to Job. And God allows him to do whatever, just you can't touch him. He's mine. He was a righteous man. And I truly believe that that's what we go through on an everyday basis. When it comes to our plan versus God's plan, we got to understand, I'm going to give you guys this Bible verse. I've been talking about it for the last couple of days. I actually shared it with Mars today. Proverbs 19:21. Many are the plans of a man's heart, right? But it's God's plan that will prevail.
Amen.
And don't get me wrong, God gives us ambitions. God gives us ideas. God gives us the drive. He gives us the desire. And through our faith, we believe those things that we have inside of us, those dreams that we have, those visions that we have, that we're going to accomplish them. And God sends us on our way. But his plan will prevail. I've shared this before in previous podcasts. This month is a year of me being home. When I came home, I did not have no plan on doing no podcast, but I had other plans and other visions that God aligned with this, and his plan is prevailing. I would say this is God's plan prevailing in my life, just an aspect of it, right? And we have to recognize God in everything that we do, business, personal, and set that as the foundation. What you think about that?
For like God, my life changed when I started putting God at the center. That's why when I talk about feeding your flesh, denying the flesh and feeding your spirit, and I've been so big on that this year that's like I put that on a post-it, like on a vision board. So I got 2 vision boards, right? Which I recommend you watching this or you as well.
Absolutely.
You haven't done it. I have one of images and then I have one of quotes. And then one is say yes to the spirit and say no to the flesh. So it's like when I started putting God at center, it's not about just what do I want. First, like Carlos said it best. He said it before we got on the podcast. He said he put God first. Then he puts other people, something along those lines. But he puts himself last. But what I would say, me personally, Gianni speaking, is I put God first, then other people first, which is a problem for me. But that's where... Like I drew a picture. I sent it to you, I believe. The ungrateful and the gratitude, and then the misery with. But if you think about it, like we do all these things, and when we people please, we say, oh, we don't get what we wanted. So that's where misery comes in. But then when you notice the impact you did on that individual, and you forgot about your desires, but you focused on their desires, you don't know the impact you had on their lives. Yeah. And maybe that's what God wanted for you, to impact them. So when people go into business, they just do it just for the money. They don't do it for the impact. Most people don't go into business to solve problems for other people. They're just so focused on me, and they forget about everybody else. And that's why business, you got to be, the business secrets from the Bible. Business secrets from the Bible, the book. The first one is God wants each of us to be obsessively preoccupied with the needs and desires of his other children.
Absolutely.
That's when I go up to people in the public interviews is, what are your dreams? How can I help you accomplish your dreams? And that's what this organization is about, helping people accomplish their dreams. Of course, there's no such thing as something for nothing. We just simply stay with a percentage, but we coach, guide them, and we allow them with our resources, experience to help them accomplish their dreams.
Yeah.
And when you put God as number one, how could you fail? Because everything's gonna go his way. And like I said, most people, they love God when he opens up the doors, but not many thank him when he closes it. Because when he closes it, he's seen something that you didn't. He was in the rooms when you weren't.
And I think when it comes to helping people achieve their dreams, we have to lead by example. And I would say that the first step in leading by example is showing people that spiritual side. I mean, what else are we talking about here, right? Like, first God. I'm gonna challenge what you said that you said and what Carlos said, because I used to think like that, like I put my family first, then I put me, then God, or I've rearranged that order so many times until I heard it the other day where somebody was like, if God isn't the only thing on that list, is something wrong.
Pleasing God, correct.
Everything else falls in order.
Correct.
Who do you trust more, yourself protecting and serving your family, or God?
God. Who
Who do you trust more, yourself protecting and controlling your business, or God?
God.
So then that list, it shouldn't be a list, is basically the thing.
Of course, but it's also, that's where faith plus deeds is dead. Because most people say, oh no, God got me. Like that interview that he said, being still. You got to be still and trust God, but you also got to do. Because if you're not doing, he's just not going to wake you up from your bed. He's not going to put in the work for you. There's like a balance. And
you have to meet God where he... So basically, God is not going to serve you. Like, he's not going to give it to you on a silver platter, right? Is he capable of doing it? Absolutely.
Of course.
But you got to meet God where he leaves off on whatever dreams or whatever it is that you have.
And I'm going to put it to you like this. When people... Because at the end of the day, when it comes to people's goals or dreams, it all falls under the same category. We all want a nice house. But to have, for what the house is for our family. For our children, our loved ones, whoever it may be. But in order to have a home, believe it or not, the car comes first. Because transportation is necessary. I'd rather be in I prefer to be my Bugatti or Maybach sin casa, que está una casa sin carro. It's contradictory because you can have the house without the car and get by.
But that's you, though.
Of course.
You get what I'm saying?
But I say all this to say that I lost myself in my own tracks.
Well, you said you need the car, you need the house.
What was you talking about before?
Before that, we're talking about meeting God.
Meeting
from wherever, like, okay.
Oh yeah, exactly. My fault. Thank you. You brought me back my train of thought. Most people focus on what they don't have instead of focusing on what they do have in order to achieve and to propel forward. Like, for example, when God gives you a vision, most people check their pockets. They don't check their faith account. And it's so deep because we're not limited. For example, we could leverage the land, but we could leverage the range where there's people that don't have that, but that's just not me. I'm not gonna do a burrito to show the world a life that I perceive to live that I'm not living.
Yeah.
You know, although I could, everything in life is counterintuitive. But what I want to say to the people is, whatever dream and goal and vision you have, just check everything you have around you. Count your blessings. Focus on what you have instead of, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. These people have the upper hand. Nah, I remember this conversation that we all get, how I look at life is we all get dealt a deck of cards, right? You have your own set, I have my own set. Everybody in the world got their own set. It's not about what you have, what I don't have. It's about what I'm gonna do with the set that God put in front of me. It don't matter if you got an ace. It don't matter if you got blackjack. I gotta do what's best with what's in front of me. Yeah. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I like your analogy. Let's put it like this. Life is a deck of cards, and we all get dealt different cards. So it's just one deck, right? But I've seen from my personal experience, let's say like I have two kings, and you have a deuce or whatever. For those who don't know, like a king is more than a two or whatever in cards. Yeah. But I've seen people beat other people in cards bluffing. You have those two kings and you put a bet, boom. And I up the bet. You be like, espérate, porque tiene una vaina ahí.
But that all comes down to confidence.
True. So I'm gonna go back to shout out Josue. Josue hit me up yesterday, right?
Okay.
And I had a good conversation with him. And I'm gonna spin off of what you were saying, right? So Josue was like, how do I take just a scenario? He just, he threw this out there. He's like, how do I take advice from an addict being an addict? Right? He said also, he also asked me this other question. He was like, how do I take advice to become financially free from someone that's not financially free? I gave him an explanation to both. Mm-hmm. But the one of the addict, I told him, like, yo, from who else will you get that advice from if not from an addict? You're going to go listen to somebody that's never been an addict? Mm. And he was like, ooh, perspective, right? And then the one with, the one about taking advice from someone that's financially not stable or not free, and I'm not, why would I take that advice from him? And I told him, well, I gave him an explanation, he didn't get it, and then I'm like, you know what, don't take the advice. But do challenge yourself and your perspective on what financially free is, and what is your source from where you're coming from. Because to speak like from me, from my perspective, my definition of financially free comes from the Bible, right? God shows us in the book of Genesis of the 4 levels of value creation. He shows us that any possession, anything materialistic is just a byproduct of what we create, right? So it's all perspective. It's all about faith. It's all about your desire. What's pushing you? What pushes me is my faith.
And then to bounce off that, God's plan versus your plan, God's always going to send you a messenger, the person you less think, to send you a message that you may need to help that vision grow. For example, I don't know in what book is it in the Bible, but it talks about this guy was so wise and he gave all the wisdom to the people and they built the city on it, but he wasn't remembered because he was a nobody. But the wisdom he gave was priceless. So
that's a descendant of Cain.
Okay.
Right? They built that tower and he saw himself. He was going to be on top of that tower. He was a great hunter. He was great in the city. But then he let those people like gas him up. Mm. And that's the thing of like, I don't know what it is in the Bible where like people like, they want to build these like high structures and put themselves in these high places. And this is the enemy, of course, right? Because that's why did Satan get kicked out of heaven? Because he was like, I'm going to sit on that throne. I'm going to put myself in that high place. So when people think like that, that's a sinful nature of thinking. And what happens is if you don't stay grounded, if you don't stay humble in your plan, if you don't surrender your plan to God, like you can't tell me, yo, I got this plan, it's bulletproof. You can't tell me a plan is bulletproof if you don't put it to God. Like, you feel me? It don't matter the plans of a man. God's plan will prevail.
Amen. And then to bounce off that, because you talked about bluffing. When you're so sure in yourself, you stay competent. In the conference room, we say, think big. Don't listen to people who tell you it can't be done. So when you confide in your plan and you know that God got you, and you don't second guess God, just believe that everything will be good. Like that's the biggest thing that I personally always struggle with was believing in myself. Like I always seek outside validation instead of seeking internally. So when you talk about financial freedom, you said you search from the inside out. You go off the interior, not the exterior. But most of these people, it's like eye-watering when they see a nice car or this and that. They're so driven about social media. Social media is a liar. That's why you want to be a creator, a consumer. And we're helping people be consumers. And we're helping people escape the consumer mentality and enter that creator.
Yeah.
Because we're all creators.
And let's talk about that, right? So I'm not saying that there's not successful people that don't believe in God. There are. Mm-hmm. There's certain systems and structures that are set in this world for you to make money. It just happens. You get what I'm saying? But when I talk about financial freedom, I take it the next step. I'm talking about wealth, right? Proverbs say, or is it Ecclesiastic? A wise man doesn't plan just only for him, but for his sons and his sons'
Proverbs,
sons.
The book of Proverbs.
Right? And this is what I'm saying. So when I think about wealth, I think about turning my mind state coming from inside into a state of abundance. You're not wealthy on the outside unless you're wealthy on the inside. The true wealth that I'm talking about, the true financial freedom that I'm talking about.
I want to play this clip, but keep talking.
And where that comes from is this. And then people be like, what you mean? So how are you going to be wealthy inside and not outside? Well, you could be wealthy in love, right? In faith, and peace and compassion and being humble. Those are all qualities that God has that he gave us. He made us in his image. And first you're wealthy in those places, and then it comes out. It just...
Now I'm gonna hit you with this. What's easier, to save $1 million or to borrow $1 million?
To borrow it.
That's why people out here working for it, and they're miserable in a job that at the end of the day, they're just hurting themselves.
Because they're not going based off of this, bro. There's certain people that first and foremost, if I tell somebody like, oh, in the Bible, it teaches you how to gain wealth and be financially free, the first thing they're going to tell me is, no, that's a lie. Because what you're telling me is go start up a church and go scam people because everybody swears church is a scam. Nah, my brother, that's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that if you look at everybody that's in that Bible, right? Everybody that God chose rich, got that money. Abraham was rich, not only in cattle, but in silver and gold. You go down, he passed it down to Isaac. It goes down to Jacob. Let's talk about David. Let's talk about Solomon. Let's talk about Job. Let's talk about even the disciples were rich people.
Wow.
In their profession. Like, God and broke don't go together, bro. Like, it just doesn't. God is a God of abundance. El dueño del oro y la plata. God is like, that's who I worship. That's who, how do I say? That's my foundation. That's my rock.
Amen.
That's my strong tower. That's my stronghold.
That's deep. I know that ain't hit him, but look at this video. Look at this video. This short hit me deep, bro.
What's the highest form of value? Everybody said money. I was like, money's important. I was like, it's not even your top 5, though. He's like, what? I was like, no, it's not your top 5. I said, if I say I give you $1 million a day, but you got to die tomorrow, which one you want? I say, so time more than money. If I say I give you $1 million a day, but you got to be sick for the rest of your life, you want it? So health is more than money. Well, if I say I give you $1 million a day and your mama got to die tomorrow, you want it? No. So relationships are more than money. So finances is not the highest form of compensation. Fulfillment is. And if you can get fulfilled on the inside, it becomes easy to get money on the outside because you're not chasing the bag, you're chasing purpose. And when you catch purpose, you get the bag. What's the highest form of value?
Now let's talk about it. You could go buy you whatever kicks. I'm a sneakerhead. I used to love sneakers. That's what I used to waste my money on. You could do whatever you want with money. You gonna get fulfilled? No, it's a dopamine. It's a drug. I want the next one. I want the next one. Yeah. But when you help somebody, ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. That's why when I see people, I feel like everybody got a big heart, but they just pour in so much negativity. They just hide away from reality. They want to escape it. They want to do drugs. They want to sleep with women. They want to drink. Esto y lo otro. They lose themselves. So then, little do they know, they pour so much in their heart, slowly but surely. And then that heart that was red that God gave you, it turns black, turns cold, bro.
And you know what it is? They don't have no surrender.
And I was there.
They don't have no surrender. It's their way or the highway.
And I was, bro, it's nothing more ugly. I'm telling you, it's nothing more scary, more ugly than a human that feels like they got nothing to lose. And they're willing to die about it. Like, they don't realize that God is everywhere. They don't realize.
That's why when I was in prison, bro, I was around a lot of people that was like that. Imagine being fucked up outside. Now they fucked up inside in prison, right? They really got nothing to lose, right? And then I have a perfect scenario. So, bro, I'm playing basketball. There's this big dude like 6'3", but he plays post. He plays whatever, right? But we going like back and forth, my team and his team, and he talking shit. I gotta lose motherfucker. Like, nigga, whole list, nigga. So we was playing, bro, and I finally hit the last shot. And it was him. He was guarding me. Mm-hmm. Boom, I hit the last shot. Game. I called game everything. Boom, whatever. We go to the side, and mind you, dude just came from the box.
Okay.
He was in solitary, right? I don't know how long he did, but he just came from there. He just boom. So dude comes to me like, oh, nah, y'all only won because you was fouling me. He came and he was like, you was fouling me like this, and he pushed me. But he pushed me, bro, like, at that time, bro, I was like 275 for you to push me. But he was kind of big, too. He work out every day. We all, like, you feel me? But he pushed me. I didn't like what he did, and I pushed him back. And he swung, bro. Like, I pushed him. He pushed me. By the time I went to go push him, he was already turning around, so he turned around and just swung with one hand. He hit me in my face. Boom, we square up. And I remember his name is Peso. He's from Patterson, too. So he comes and he breaks it up. He's like, oh. And then literally, bro, they just called the code. Like, when they call a code, you got to go lock in. You got to, like, there was another fight somewhere else.
Okay.
So like we couldn't like, you feel me? Said about I thought though, but I'm like, yo, I gotta get my leg back. I gotta get my leg back. But mind you, I just got to that prison. I haven't even seen my family, and my family planning on coming to visit me that weekend. It was a whole bunch of stuff. I was also transitioning to going to the camps and all this other stuff, right? But I remember, bro, like you can't show no mercy. You can't show no weakness in prison because people will try to take advantage.
But not only prison, bro.
But
That's in
look,
the real world.
But look, right?
Outside.
So absolutely. So boom, after the code clear, I go to do like, yo, we gotta get right. We gotta get busy. He's like, yo, bro, pardon me. I ain't mean to do it. This in the third. I just reacted. You pushing me from behind. This in the third. I'm like, yeah, but what you put your hands on me for? You get what I'm saying? Like I want to get busy. And then I remember this old head. His name is Sam, bro. Sam came to me and I remember like we had a one-on-one and like I started crying and everything, bro. Cause I'm like, yo, bro, like I'm frustrated. I just got to this prison. I ain't trying to show. I ain't soft. I ain't none of that. But he was like, yo, you got so much to lose. He was like, he don't got nothing to lose, bro. He just came from lockup. He'll go right back to that box. He don't care. He's like, you, in less than a year, you could be in a halfway house, saving up some money, still doing your time, doing what you got to do. Your family about to come see you. His family don't come see him. He don't got nothing to lose. And he came up to me like, yo, I don't want to fight. You get me? So it's scary. I like, when you do get put in that situation, it was situations where I felt like I didn't have nothing to lose. You get me? And it wasn't until I go back and I surrender, like, nah, bro, I do have something to lose. Jesus paid a high price for what I would lose if I do what I want to do.
Now I'm going to hit you with this. What is God all about?
What is God all about? Is one thing, love. Let's talk about it.
And what is the flesh devil all about?
The devil, he's all about deception. He's a
Break that down.
copycat. Okay, so it's in Corinthians, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Corinthians? I don't want to misquote it, but it's Ecclesiastics. It's Ecclesiastics. So Ecclesiastes 13, if I'm not mistaken, it talks about love. If I can know every language of this world, I can know all types of ways to communicate, but if I don't know love, I don't know nothing, says the word. Right? And the word also said God, he's a God of love. Right? So I think it just makes sense. You know, God created the earth for us, bro. He said, let you have dominion, be fruitful and multiply here. Right?
So
and then
continue.
Right? But then here comes the enemy. And the same way, like, he had a high position. The devil had a high position. He was an archangel in heaven. And he messed it up for himself. And God threw him down to earth. And what he did, he deceived us. So that's why I mean, like, he's a copycat. Now he wants he wants a position like God. He wants this like that. Like,
but why does he want that?
because so it says in the word it says that he was made good. He was made, like, you feel me? Like how God, all his creation is, but it was something, I forget what, I don't want to call it. I think unrighteousness in him. Like he saw a reflection of himself and he got full of something. That ego, bro, that ego is not your
So
ego.
now, when you put God's plan versus your plan, when you focus on your plan, it's like my way or the highway.
Ego,
Your
yeah.
ego or the pride.
Yeah.
And when it says in the book of Proverbs, pride leads to all destruction. You got to put it in God's hand and know what he wants you to do. If God is all about love, why are you worried about self? Focus on others. Focus on loving others and uplifting others. That's what this is all about, bro. I want to see you do better than me. I want to see Angel, the Davids, the Mars, the Mannings. Everybody. I want to see Carlos. I want to see Carlos doing better than where I found him.
There's only one way for those people to get better.
How?
You making yourself better.
Talk about it. It's
So,
a fact.
Jim Ron, right? How is it?
I'll take care of me for you if you take care of you for me.
So, I told you before. I'm gonna say it on his podcast though. I'm gonna say it later. But it's about, I'm gonna say it on CMR.
Yeah.
Tune in CMR podcast with Carlos.
Episode 159 today, I believe.
Yeah. Watch what I'm gonna say. And it has to do with what we're talking about. So I say it all from like all the kindness of my heart, all the compassion in my heart. I want what's best, not only for you, but for anyone in this world. Specifically, any child of God. You feel me? Because I've gotten to a place where I don't care about if you're not for God, bro, then I'm not for you either. We gotta understand that there's only two roads, bro. It's either you're with God or you're against God. It's either you're with the righteous or you're with the unrighteous.
Lukewarm.
And I'm not saying that I won't extend the hand because I was living a life that was unrighteous at some point.
We all were, bro.
You get what I'm saying?
I'm still a sinner.
But through God's
perfect.
grace, we're able to be where we are right now.
Amen.
And when it comes to God's plan versus our plan, we have to learn how to surrender that to God. We have to learn to be submissive to God, to God's plan, to his word.
That's what I'm telling you. Everything comes down to putting what you want aside and putting what he wants the most.
How do you know God's plan compared to, like, how do you balance that, like, knowing what your plan is and your goals is, and how to submit to God's plan? Like, let's say, like, you had a plan to buy a certain car, or you had a goal to, I don't know, do something specific.
When you get what you want, that's God's direction. When you don't get what you want, that's God's protection. So like I said, everybody loves when he opens up doors, but when he closes it, people just get into that ungrateful mode. They put themselves in misery. Oh, God, why did you do this to me? Why me out of everybody? No. Why did it happen to me? What does he want me to learn? For example,
Go.
most people, they settle for a 9 to 5, bro. And I always knew that wasn't the route for me. My dad, I would never forget. Papi used to always tell me, Gian, este trabajo no es para ti. Because you'll see how hard I worked, but I worked so hard because he motivated me. When he was in there, bro, my pops got 19 years working this bum-ass job. And I told Osmos, they want to put me as a foreman. They want to, like, try to help me. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be a slave to them. So it's like, what we really doing? Is that an opportunity, or you just trying to give me, they was giving me opportunity from their perspective, but I knew that wasn't for me. My cousin said it best. If I didn't love my life, I would have taken it. But I knew I had more to live, bro. I'm 18, 19, working construction. But that's all they knew. That's all they taught me. So
You got there though, bro. It's one thing that
I'm
I
grateful
admire.
for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
I'm beyond grateful because they taught me discipline.
You gotta learn. You gotta stack those lessons. You get what I'm
sure.
saying? Take those L's and turn it to E's, and turn those E's into W's. You get what I'm saying? So one thing that I admire about you, bro, is your hunger for your relationship with God. You don't play about it.
You can't.
I like it. And it's because, the reason why I say that is because I asked you, well, how do you know when to be submissive to God's plan and not take your plan, right? And I would think the answer to that is, like, you got to have a relationship with God, yo. The same way I'm saying here talking to Jay Andy, you got to sit and talk to God. People don't understand that.
That's what people don't understand. Like,
bro, he talks back.
Man, the best conversation.
Maybe not how we talking, but he talks back.
Bro, it's just that simple. I challenge everybody watching this video, and I challenge you as well. Look at yourself in the mirror and just talk. Because God is within us.
I don't like that. That's kind of weird.
God is within us. Yo, I promise you.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact,
I guarantee you talk to yourself in the mirror, yo, ain't no better conversation. Ain't no better conversation.
You know what I do like, though? For me, I like closing my eyes, bro, and just being quiet. And I haven't been doing it as much lately, but God speaks. Okay, and I'm gonna share with you guys a couple of instances. So there was a specific person I was with at one time in my life.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work everything out with her and do the best I can to keep things together. Bro, I remember specifically, bro, I went outside to take my dog for a walk. And I'm walking and I'm chilling, bro. And a voice in my head was like, leave her.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. It's very distinct voices when you speak to yourself, right? Or when your conscience just throwing stuff at you. And then there's when God speaks to you. And God has spoken to me like that multiple times in my life. And it's not like he'll tell me leave her, right? And I as soon as he said it, I acknowledged what he said. And then I was like, but why? And I started crying. And guess what I didn't do?
Didn't leave her?
I didn't. And guess what? Bad decision.
Stone broke loose.
Bad decision. Why? Because God warned me, bro. You get what I'm saying?
And I'm going to put it to you like this. You see how I told you watch the movie Time Changer? Back then, people in the 1800s, you go back, yo, I got this idea of the new phone. Technology didn't exist back then, but now think about it when God gives you an idea. there's a video, a clip, I got it on Day One Podcast on Instagram where Carlos talks about, you know how many Ubers, the Lyfts, the DoorDash, all these ideas that went into the cemetery just because they didn't pursue it? You don't know who watching this video, bro. Like my brother, bro. He's an inventor. Man, their imagination, the difference between him, I just do. My parents always say, yo siempre he sido más travioso. But I feel like everybody has an idea.
And you take it to another level because now, not only do you do, but you overcome the challenges of people telling you, you wildin'.
Nah, because I don't care.
That who were the craziest people back in the day? Abraham they used to be like, oh, this dude is wild. And what you mean you have one God that you talk to that he said that this is gonna happen until it happens.
And just to end it off, because I know times you could say whatever. When God told Abraham to kill Isaac,
yes, he was like,
he
go
went and did it.
sacrifice your son.
He went and did it.
Bro, he had Isaac laying down. I'm going to take it deeper because I'm watching the show and this is just a perspective, but I believe it to be true. Because let's think about it. It says that God spoke to him and said, do not lay a hand on him.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that mean? That his son also had a relationship with God. Isaac had a relationship with God. And Abraham told him God will provide the offering. And then he realized, right, at least in the show that I'm watching, he realized like, oh, I'm the offering. And what he did, he laid down. And what God said, nah, now I know that your faith is, God knew it already, but guess what? It's a test that you got to go through, bro. So that test was more for Abraham, for himself, than for God. You get what I'm saying? It was more for that. And then think about what he just taught his son, bro.
Wow. He went to that extreme for God.
And he was like, he said in the show, Abraham tells Isaac, he's like, yo, I love you, but I love God more.
Wow. Now, look, you see how I said about fulfillment is obviously bringing the word of God. Let's bring it to the business level.
Talk to me about this guy.
A little sauce. Nah, because think about it. Look how he said the true things that matters is fulfillment. It's not about having money. Here, what's worth having is the relationship. Thinking of mastermind. But I say it, fulfillment comes from completing your purpose. All right, some people, we do need 9 to 5s. Somebody's purpose is this. Another person can be that. We all need somebody to implement. Yeah. Somebody in unification.
People play their role. Yeah.
Exactly. But what's your role? Or do you feel like the life you live in right now, however you're serving right now, do you think you're worth that? Do you know you could do more? Like me, bro, I always knew I wanted to take the entrepreneur route. I wanted to escape that, but I didn't have a way out. Tell somebody, God sent me somebody. Maybe God sent me into your life so this could blossom. Yeah. These people out there, opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you'll miss them. Don't nobody want no chump change.
No cap. And you know what it is? That everybody wants to be him. Everybody wants to be her.
Ego.
But nobody knows what it takes to get there, right?
Oof.
And they think, Amen. It's the perception, bro. It's the world's perception, bro. Whatever you think, you got it from someone. You're not all that. You didn't. Oh, nah, because I'm gonna be different. No, there's nothing new under the sun.
Ecclesiastes.
Nothing
Amen.
new under the sun.
Amen.
And to wrap it up, shout out Manny from Consistency 360. To wrap it up, guys, Happy New Year's. I hope you guys enjoyed your holidays, and I'm gonna give you guys a little insight. So for 2025, I'm planning on doing a small docuseries. I had someone tell me, I'm not gonna give you everything. I'm gonna do a small docuseries. Lock in. It's gonna be fire, and we're gonna be prospering, man. We're gonna come into 2025 from a place of abundance. Remember, if you're gonna do the same thing this year that's coming up as you were doing this year, then it's just another year. It's not a new year. But I'm gonna state it now. It's gonna be a new year for me, for my loved ones, for everyone in this organization, for everyone that puts God's plan and surrenders to God's plans first. And I want to thank Jay Andy.
Thank you for having me here. This is an excellent episode, bro. I loved it. And I would like to leave them a message just like, write down the 7 things you most want, your dreams you want to accomplish 2025. Yeah. And most people want to go fast. You could go alone. But if you want to go far, you got to go together, but find people that are aligned with your vision. Who can help you accomplish those things, and do they align with your principles and morals? Forget about the materialistic things, but look at people for who they are. And we're here to help. I believe you're also a genuine guy, bro. I see you leading over. There's no limit. Like, I don't see myself. I'll be lying to you if I tell you that I see myself leading 100 people or creating 100 leaders. Yeah. See myself. I don't even know how many people I'm gonna help. But
you're gonna impact more than that, bro.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm gonna impact a lot of people.
That's a fact.
But I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
That's why I need you. You watching this video that you say, oh, he's talking to me. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I believe in you.
Word up. We're here for that. Guys.
Day1 Podcast, check me out. Day.1.podcast. Yeah.
Yes. Stay blessed by the best. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Excellent.